Lumen Living presents Bedtime Thoughts with your girl, Dawn. Mental health is super important. So journey with me as we go through my testimony, new discoveries, and the healing that is currently taking place right now. I don't claim to be a licensed professional. No therapist, no professor, no preacher, no world-renowned leader. I'm just a regular person going through regular things, using this as a platform to express myself. This is a judgment-free zone, a safe space. So come on in and spend a few moments with me, and let's unwind. There's nothing but love here, so let's share. If you have a topic that you would like for me to discuss, drop it in the comments and let's have these conversations, the hard ones. Welcome to yet another episode of Bedtime Thoughts, and it's your girl Dawn, and I'm here with my best friend Tiffany.
Bestie. I'm Tiffany, everyone.
Yes, and me and Tiffany met, it's been like 13? No, maybe. Yeah, 13 years, since 2008.
Yes.
So we met 13 years ago at a little bench outside of the library in college.
Oh, Kelly.
At Winston-Salem State University. We were both freshmen, and it was the first week of college. And so it was a good time to start making friends. You know, when you first go to college, you have nobody.
No friends whatsoever.
And then you meet somebody who's sitting by themselves on a bench in need of a friend.
Looking lonely, because I was.
Looking lonely. And then we've been inseparable ever since. Great. We've definitely had our ups and downs, but our friendship is truly genuine. And I'm just so glad that you decided to come on the show. And we're talking about a very deep topic. Well, it's a bunch of topics, but under one umbrella, which is loneliness. So we're not going to go from the segue of loneliness like you're just kind of in your house hanging out by yourself or you have your friends. Because apparently you have a friend, of course. Me. and so we're going to talk about a few things. Coming from the thought of loneliness, we came up with a key verse, and that's going to come from Psalms chapter 23, verses 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So we're going to talk first about being single in your 30s. What's that like? Considering I got married at 30, what's the dating pool like these days?
I have no words for this dating pool. The atrocity that's out there during these days.
And you know, I was very fortunate enough not to have to date during the pandemic. So what's dating during the pandemic like?
It's even more difficult because a lot of people are still afraid to get out there and go out and do things. So then you trying to figure out where's the best place to have a first date. What should we do for a second date, or what should we do in general? Because a lot of things are either closing early, not open, don't have the staff, so it's kind of, frustrating on top of already being frustrating.
Right.
Dating or trying to get to know someone during these times.
And since people are in their houses a lot, do you find yourself online dating a lot?
Yes. It's just don't go out to really meet anybody, so how else would you meet anybody? So let me log on to this app and see what's out there. That's pretty much your thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. So why would you say that you're single now? I know everybody hates that question. Why am I single?
It's do you want the real answer or do you want the real answer?
I want the real answer.
I feel like for me, I will say I guess it's not time for me to meet that person yet, but not only that, it's just difficult to find someone who's actually like wanting the same things you want, who's actually on your level and ready to move forward and actually have a adult relationship.
That's real. That is a real answer. So I want to talk about that clock. That clock. It's baby season in your 30s. That's when you're like at the cutoff, right there at the marathon. Like you should be giving your parents grandchildren. Yeah. The pressure of that, and you don't even have any prospects, right? Like
no, none at all.
So it's not even like you're leading up to, okay, maybe I'll date this person for a year or so, get married, and maybe by 34 I'll have a child. It's more like, it's questionable.
It's definitely questionable right now. And the fact that I'm 31 and I'm just like, I feel and nobody's checking for me. That's how I feel. Which is probably not true, but I feel like the people that I would want to date isn't checking for me. It's just people that I see that are not ready for someone like me that are checking for me. And that's frustrating as well. So then you have your parents in your ear, oh, we're going to have some grandchildren. And I'm like, Mom, I don't even have any prospects.
After a couple of steps, you can provide grandchildren. So I understand.
Yeah. So,
and that's quite frustrating. I know that you've accomplished a lot in the last couple of years. You did a lot of schooling. What is it you do again?
I am a histologist and I work in a dermatology lab. So. Yeah.
I knew that. I just didn't know all of the technical terms.
Yes.
So you've gotten this great job, and you just bought a house, and it's beautiful. I would show you guys a tour, but we don't got time for it. So, you bought a house. You've got a great job. You're making your own money. You're stabilizing yourself, and now you're in this really big house with nobody. What is that like?
There's days where it's just like super lonely. And I am a loner anyway, and there's times where I have to have my space just so I can unwind from the world and just not think and turn my brain off. And I love to have my space. But then there's days where I come home and I look at this big house and I'm just like, and I'll sit there right on the couch and I'll be watching TV and I'll just look around and I'm like, there's no one here. So it's just like you go to work, you come home, but you come home to no one. It's just you and your thoughts. And what happens when you get in your thoughts? You start to get in your feelings and you start to feel down and you start to feel even more lonely and sorry for yourself. And that's one thing I try to refrain from these days.
Yeah, it's
I've accomplished a lot, so I shouldn't feel sorry for myself at all.
Very much so. I mean, I can't help sometimes to get swallowed up by Facebook posts. Someone always having an announcement, and I'm like, wow, people are doing stuff right now. Everybody we went to school with and people we grew up with. We were either buying a house, having a baby, getting married, or celebrating something. So how do you get away from the whole mundane social media overload?
I literally just come home and go and pick it up. I find myself often days. People are like, oh, did you see this on Facebook? No. Because I don't get on there. And because a lot of times if I do get on there, I'll see something like that and I'll be like, oh, okay. And then I'll go down a rabbit hole of feelings. Why am I not there? Why haven't I met my person? And then it's a whole nother hurricane after that, pretty much. Just, swallow right on down in that hole.
Very much so. Yes, I can imagine how difficult that is. So we've been talking about this on the spectrum of loneliness. There's so many different things that can go on with loneliness. Can you tell me some, besides, the rabbit hole of thoughts, what happens when you're in this mode of loneliness? What are some things that you can do that you try to do to overcome?
I'm a firm believer in, and I've recently just adapted this, like when I get in those moods, first and foremost, I don't like to be bothered. I don't like to put that on other people because I know what it feels like for other people to put all their baggage on you and how hard it is to hold your baggage and their baggage too. So one thing is when I get in that mode, I just, I don't answer my phone. I don't call people. I don't talk to people. I'm just there. And I give myself 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours to feel sorry, to be mad, to be upset about anything or whatever it is I'm going through. And then after that, okay, sis, get up. Mm-hmm. Okay, sis, fit your crown and get on and keep moving.
I like that.
So, because if you sit there and you dwell on it, it would just take you in a whole another mode of depression. And I've been there, and when I can feel myself slowly drifting back in that area, I be like, skirt left, and it's time to, move forward to get myself out of it. So, good.
And I'm sure there are many people who are looking at the video and saying to themselves, hey, I'm in this predicament. I'm over 30. I'm trying to date. I haven't found anybody. I've accomplished a lot. I'm dealing with loneliness. So what can you say are 5 different thoughts we can leave our audience who may be going through the same thing?
Stay busy. Find new hobbies. Number one, that's one thing I've been trying to do lately, is find new things that I'm interested in, or undercover old things that I was interested in back then that I kind of put on the back burner. Go out with your friends, the friends that you do have. Go out with them, have a good time, and just don't sit down and dwell on the fact that you don't have anybody. Because it's not the end of the world. Like, you have to realize, like, life goes on. Keep moving forward. 3 would definitely be to travel. Travel and live your best life, okay?
Yes, live your best
So that's one thing I've been really trying to get into with you, but Miss Corona is making her world tour again. Mm-hmm. And hopefully she gonna come down so we can do a lot more of that.
Well, you can still go on road trips though. Corona can't stop that.
I don't do road trips.
Well, she doesn't do road trips.
I don't.
If you would like to do a road trip.
True. Definitely go on a road trip if that's what you would like. Me, no. It's just not for me.
Okay.
Or this is unfortunate, but in order to meet your person, you actually have to date. So, we know how frustrating dating can be in 2020 when you're over 30. But you have to actually get out there and do it. So
I think the most common misconception about, especially Christians in dating, is that God is just going to let your man fall from the sky somehow and you'll end up married. And you actually do have to go out and put yourself out there and date and make yourself noticeable.
To meet that person. You have to, like, they say it's someone for everyone, but you have to be in the right place at the right time to meet that person. So you have to get out there and actually,
Yeah, and those who are still in the house, and I know it can get lonely in the house, especially when you're in fear of the coronavirus. I would say, suit up, do what you gotta do, wear your mask, social distance yourself, but still, you can leave the house. You can leave the house, even if you're fearing that you might catch something. At least take a walk down the street. You can leave your house. It's not state mandated for you to stay in your house and bury yourself in your house. You can leave. And what would be number 5? Self-care.
Oh yeah, definitely. Self-care. Yes.
I think we forget a lot about ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
Because there's a difference between being lonely and being alone. 2 different things.
Okay.
Yes, sometimes taking time for yourself is good.
And one thing about me, I always take time for myself. If it's a Friday evening, I might go in, have me a bubble bath with my wine, okay? Have my music going, honey.
Oh, yeah.
And I have me a whole little situation going on, and it'd be awesome. Or if your self-care includes going to get your hair done, your nails done, your waxes, whatever you need, do that too, honey. You got to get out there. So yes, I definitely stay doing those things too as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, this has been a lovely segment on loneliness. Thank you again for being a guest. And before we leave, we want to end off with some prayer. Would you like to lead us out? Would you like me to? All right. Lord, I thank you for this day. I thank you for blessing us with friends, blessing us with family and friends that we can call family. I want you to extend your hand of mercy upon anyone who may be in the downtroddenness of loneliness, who may be somewhere where they are not seeking the light. And I ask that you just wrap your arms around them and give them comfort at this time of loneliness. And I ask that you speak to them and you lift their spirits, Lord, and that they can walk in light and they can walk in you and know that you are there for them. And Lord, I ask all these blessings in your name. Amen. And I will see you guys next time. Before you go, just remember it's time to have these conversations, the hard ones.